Welcome to the Awakening Together channel here on YouTube. This is our Awakening Together weekly gathering. Each and every week we have a different minister who speaks. If you'd like to attend our services live, please visit our website awakening-together.org. Click on Online Sanctuary on the main menu. Then, How to Enter the Sanctuary. Our services are held Sundays at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. We'd love to see you in the sanctuary.
Hi, everybody. All right. I want to welcome everybody to the Sunday gathering. We're going to find out what God's making today. Wow, that was a great healing. Having them both come on after years of each other's absence, sharing their own darkness for each other. They're just shedding it for a union, a holy instant to remember their purpose. Wow, that was, I don't know, I happen to find it. Anyway, I guess it's time for me to pray. All right. Father, 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 it's always you. What are we making today? Oh, I have no idea. I've changed this topic 100 times since I wrote it down. And it really doesn't matter because I know you feel the intention. And the intention is much more important than the action. The collective willingness that comes from the individual willingness here today that will help us hear with your words, your thoughts, and feelings that we may come from a higher place, a higher recognition of our own self-improvement, which is our realization, is the pathway to our realization of who we really are as we live in the abundance of this knowing and recognition of the I am. Thank you. Amen. Okay, before I guess, the weekly journey of before the reader comes in, the weekly journey of a minister preparing homily, and the conversation, the inner dialogue of, well, I'm not going to change. I mean, I'm going to be so much different on Sunday than I am on Wednesday night, to give this ready for signer on Thursday by noontime. But that's the whole journey. The journey is what doesn't change between now and then. And, and to find the funny in all that, okay, was, a great recognition to realize that, God's got this. God's got this. Anyway, a little bit about the ninth step and these promises before we, I'm gonna try. My topic is we will comprehend the word serenity, and that's in the promises of AA. But before an AA, an alcoholic or drug addict or anyone that has gone through self-inquiry, there is a list of people they have harmed, and they owe an amends to. And this is, you know, and the ninth step reads, made directly amends to such people whenever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Now, this is a process of discrimination because, you know, this step is not for you to get rid of your guilt, you know, at the expense of someone else's peace, you know, and, you know, it's to point to the healing, to heal the past and to free you to a future you need not to be sorry for, you know, and, you know, the Course has a spin on it as well, you know, the Course, the inner dialogue, you know, I have this book side by side that has the 12 steps as a AA and as a Course in Miracles. And the Course talks about, you know, how inner guidance is so important here, because the wisdom to know the difference on, you know, you're not going to go tell someone that I slept with your wife, okay, and think that that's going to be, or that you're going to be okay at their expense, you know, or something like that. So the Course talks about this inner guidance. You know, you're not going to go, you know, this inner guidance where you see your wrongness in your life and you have begun to see, no matter how mistaken others may have been, correction must start with yourself. Here is where the sense of unworthiness and self-guilt began and was then projected out upon the world. Here is where denial started to be defended at all costs, demanding the price of happiness and life itself. Here is where the cause of unhappiness has been placed on other people, nearest and dearest to you. So here is where forgiveness starts. So here we are in Awakening Together, where we're all, you know, this is dualistic minded stuff, but, you know, this, you know, I can't emphasize enough about the self-inquiry process that we go through, you know. So I'm going to give this over to the reader, Reverend Meg Reinhart, and she's going to read the promises that one starts to feel after this step has been introduced. Go ahead, Meg.
All right. Good morning, everyone. It's Meg. Great to be here. Great to be of service. Thanks for asking me to read, Billy. All right. So here are the 9th step promises from the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. The spiritual life is not a theory. We have to live it. As God's people, we stand on our feet. We don't crawl before anyone. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. And this is promise number 1, written by Dan Griffin. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, when we are painstaking or careful and diligent in our attempt, it means that through the pain, disappointment, and suffering we experience in the crucible of our recovery, that we do not give up. We have some faith that this is not wasted effort. There is a higher purpose to which we are dedicating our efforts. We pick up the phone instead of dancing one more time on the edge with the addiction that was destroying our lives. We ask for help instead of isolating ourselves or pretending we are not in pain. We tell on ourselves to our sponsor or in a meeting, even if it means our voice is shaking and our heart is ready to jump out of our chest. Regardless of how much sobriety we have, we tell the truth about ourselves and risk being known. We do this because we have already been amazed. We know that we have been offered a way out that we alone could have never found and cannot keep if we do not give it away. We know that this pain, the pain of redemption and repairing our wounds and the wounds of others, got in the middle of our affair with self-destruction, but it has a purpose. The promises are not static. They live in the present moment. Whatever phase of growth and development we are in, and if we are painstaking about our efforts, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. There is when we are halfway through with our amends, but it does not end there. There is no clear marker telling us when we are halfway, but if you believe, as I believe, that the promises apply to life, then the halfway point is constantly moving. As we set out upon the path and trudge our way to happy destiny, we will be amazed at the vision of the mountaintop from miles away. We rest and take in the beauty of this glorious sight of God's creation. And then we return to the stony path and continue to trudge, knowing that as breathtaking as the sight is, it is the journey itself which is the greatest reward. It doesn't even matter if we make it there. Perhaps it is another mountain to which we are headed. It simply doesn't matter, because it is the amazement that moves us forward, and our ability to drink deeply from the marrow of the present moment. Nothing else matters. Nothing else is necessary. In fact, nothing else is. All we have is now. It is all amazing if we just pay attention. Thanks, Billy.
Thanks, Meg. That was beautiful. You know, I got three. I got some readings from Hebrews 1 and some Nisargadatta in the I Am That. As I just want, I hope you can hear with the ears of I just hope I can open up some windows in someone's room that are going to see from a different light and a different shadow. And when I don't know, a couple of years ago, I did a homily on about the properties of water and how they symbolize our journey and our to awakening, enlightenment, or realization. They all get confused. And how water is solid and ice, and we get our ideas, they crystallize in nounship, and the movement, it's the movement that these promises that I'm just going to read a few of them, but it's the movement in the verb, and it's the movement of our journey. I mean, our journey, which we find out when we get to our ruby slippers again, that that we are everything. Okay, but you might have to take a few side trips to get there. And there's a inner verification and facts are the burden proof, that we are everything, and what we have to eliminate along the way, and so, and as we go from water, and water turns to vapor, which is the vastness of that space that Michael Langford talks about, that infinite space that just keeps going, no beginning, can't see the end. It's just, it's prior to the I am, the absolute. It's prior to all of that. Okay, a teacher of God, a teacher of enlightenment can only talk to you, about the I am. The finite mind can't find the proper words, the perfect word to describe the infinite. Can't do it. We toy with it, but you can't do it. And but this process, which was my process, getting here, how my surrender to everything led me to this room, to the homily today, and I just want to go over a couple of these that here that we're going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. Getting to know truth, the one truth, of who I am. First, I have to chisel away. So You know, I was living from the outside in. I was a victim of the world. You know, a world that I created to keep me safe from my own boogeyman. And you guys had the remote control to that. You had all my buttons. And they were so easily pushed. And you had it. You know, and I had no idea how to get it back. Okay. You know, I didn't even know what was going on. That I could reclaim my remote control. This new freedom and new happiness, you know, this putting on an act to fit in. True freedom has come in realizing that I will not always be happy. I'm just as free to be unhappy as I am to be happy. And I know that I'm before all that. You know, I am is before all that. I am happy. The that. You know, the other one I wanted to talk about is we will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. Isn't it amazing how darkness still shows up no matter how far the development that we've gone into this process of awakening, this process of realizing truth, or the essence of our naturalness, you know, and how the shadow, you know, it might be as small as a homeopathic pill. If you focus on it, it's going to blow up. Okay. And, you know, so we will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. Who would not want to make peace with their past? When we embrace our past, we begin to see a new way. Not living in shame of not owning my part in my relationships that could have been different. More importantly, after these steps, our past doesn't define us today. You know, that was a big undertaking. You know, of, you know, even to get to the place where, you know, it's a dream. And in the Tao of all of this, that I was, you know, the purpose behind that pendulum swing in my recovery and in my getting here, my movement and my intention to be here today, you know, was all about that, you know, of me getting. I paved the pathway to destruction, and I took that same path out. It was already paved. I took it out, you know, and you know, it had double yellow lines and it had passing lanes. I took the same path out, you know. But the topic for today is we will comprehend the word serenity, you know, and that's everything. You know, we've got this, you know, conquering our unhappiness, you know, this, the things I did and created not to look at the mess inside myself in my relationships, you know, how I continue to create chaos, you know, just because some people say they look inside and they live from the inside out, but to say that is one thing and to mean it is everything, you know. Accepting myself as I am, overcoming the I am bad thought, or I'm not good enough, you know. You know, this this word serenity, I didn't even know it existed, when I first heard it. And you don't get to see it displayed by too many newcomers. There's someone that's comfortable in their own skin. There's this one gentleman that, that has kept life so simple that I just see the intention. And Nisargadatta will talk about that later, later on in the homily. I still think we're doing our show a lot to say about nothing. But the intention of this gentleman, he says, I'm Bob, I'm an alcoholic, and I hadn't had a drink today. And I'm very grateful that I can remember that. I'm so grateful that I can remember that. And that is his affirmation, his spiritual affirmation. Now, everybody's got a spiritual affirmation. Everybody's got a flag, and this was his spiritual affirmation. Whether his wife is yelling at him, whether he, and he doesn't even know what made her mad, and whatever it is. I hadn't had a drink today, and it's grateful that I can remember that. And he lives in that, knowing that God has got him, that he rests in God. That the I am, that Satchi Ananda, that bliss, that bliss that exists, that ultimate peace. The Sat is being and the Chi is consciousness. And Ananda is peace, and the ultimate peace, when you're in that ultimate peace, the Sat and the Chi end, because there's no one to experience that ultimate peace. No person, no language to search for the perfect word. It's just that vastness that's prior to the I am. But the one that I'm sure you want me to talk about, is the fear of people and economic security will leave us. The fear of people. I was consumed with how people viewed me. And when they did not view me in the manner I wanted them to, I would lie about who I am. And then I would say to myself, I don't need them anyway. This was another vicious cycle because I wasn't certain on who I was. And tearing down the mask of false pride took time. That self-concept versus self-chapter in the Course. It was an undertaking. Economic security is not how much money I have in the bank today. It's distinguishing between wants and needs and being comfortable wanting what I already have. My concern is how I view myself. And God always adding abundance to my life. Eventually, I realized I am everything. So this inner verification and facts are the only burden of truth. It's not what Nisargadatta says. It's not what anybody says. It's not, So, there are two shifts in consciousness, that we go through here. And, one that I am not I am not the body. And in AA, we had to find that out because we had to go to a power greater than ourselves. That was not the body mind. You know, on that last day, that because, you know, most alcoholics get to a point where, and drug addicts get to a point where if I stop, I'm going to die. And if I don't stop, because I have to do it, I'm going to die. And there's no way out. Now, I don't say that you have to live in that extreme today, but I can get in those jackpots today with my wife. You know, if I say the wrong thing, if I don't say anything, you know, it's a lot of things. If I answer the phone, if I don't answer the phone, you know, there's a lot of ways that I can get into that. You know, I'm not a body. I'm not a body mind. I am the consciousness presence. I am. You know, true nature is prior to all that, which we're coming to get to know. As that space becomes more and more available, that space between the objects, if you know that Michael Langford, the eternal bliss. You know, it's just nice to do that once a month because, you know, the accordion of life just makes me constrict. I get seduced by the sentient being of, you know, I become a sensation seeker again, you know, and it's a slippery slope of not living from the outside in or not living from who I am. And I forgot to shut my mail off and it dings. That means I better check the time. Okay. So I do want to read Hebrews because Hebrews 1 puts a spin. You know, I love going to an AA meeting and putting NTI on because it's just enough that they can handle. You know, if it's something that's fresh in my mind. NTI and gentle healing 2 is just 2.5% more that I can drag them in, in fine language that they might be able to make a full circle with, in their lives and in their recovery. So let me find my NTI book. It's been through a few construction sites. It's still hanging in. Anyway, the Holy Spirit's interpretation of Hebrews. By this time, you recognize that the Son of which I speak is you. There was no prophets or angels of heaven. There's only you. How you saw yourself and how you are coming to see yourself now. It is as if you have been on an elevator ride going up within the awareness of yourself. But the elevator ride is only a rise in awareness, a rise in acceptance. That which you are, you have always been. There is no change within the oneness that is you. So that's what these promises are leaning toward. They were. That elevator ride is a rise in awareness, a rise in that divine acceptance to what is, after we cleaned house. When has the Father even indicated for even a moment that today you are different than you were yesterday? I did that Wednesday to Sunday. Yeah. Never has the Father indicated this. You are the one who has said, I am changing. But this change you seem to experience is not a change in what you are at all. It is only a growing awareness of what has always been. You are awakening to the truth of what you are. There's so much here. You know, you rise above your own thoughts, your misperceptions of yourself. And through awareness of what is true, and through awareness that the false was never true, you anoint yourself with the oil of your own joy. Now, those are the promises. Okay. All right. And now you see all that you have known beyond the thoughts that cloud the mind is emerging as the truth you have always known. You are eternal. The personality is not you. Yeah, Billy and his personality are not going to heaven. The world is not you. Not even the interactions, not even these interactions are able to define you as you. They are all temporal, an experience of the imagination of the mind. They shall pass, and you shall still be you, as you have always been, and you shall forever be. That recognition that feels this truth, that is the edge of the awareness of you, it is there in your awareness now. It has always been there, a part of your core knowledge. It has never doubted itself. It has always been the same. Rejoice. The knowledge which you are aware of is in your truth. This is the knowledge of you. Every step has been a stepping stone within awareness only. There is no change. You are eternally, lovingly, and perfectly whole as you are now. You know, my first course teacher, God bless him, I don't know if he's still alive, John Nagy. Well, besides Vicky, but John was in my, Vicky Poppy. John was closer to me. And he always used to say, Billy, you are currently created perfectly right now. And then until your mind gets there, you're currently created now, right now, now. And I got to know the infinite presence when I got here, you know, on how, you know, the collapsing of time and how much in the infinite presence of what exists as it is. You know, we are going to outlive our karma. Okay. And, you know, so let me put, you know, I think it's Tawando the last week in the Karen Worth class. You know, I have a similar situation going on. On Thursday nights, I go to this AA meeting that it's a church, but it's like a university. Okay, it's called the Summit, and it is, you know, it is. They take the word of the Bible literally, but they, you know, they're so successful in bringing in new young people. And, you know, I thought that there was a calling there for me, you know, and And I had, and I've been there over half a dozen times, maybe going to a double digits, because I like the music, and I like the intention. But in my observation of it all, I still get to see the intent, the aspiration, even though it's a word, and it's I don't know, you've been to a fundamentalist church, then you know what I'm talking about. It's to ask to see it differently doesn't exist there. Okay, it is literally and that is, and I can't expand there, and that's okay, because that's not where I'm supposed to be. I don't know what my message is yet. Maybe the person that brought me there wants to come out. I don't know. I have no idea. He is a minister there, and let's go on to Nisargadatta. There was a calling in me this week, and there's a vital force that's always going on, that's moving me along. And I said, well, I wrote about that. I'm going to have Nisargadatta. I'm going to have some Nisargadatta and NTI. And I just happened to open the pages, and there they were. So on page 365, and I am that, and it's short, and it's Nisargadatta and the questioner. And it's, see if I can remember what it's about. It's about ending time. And in due course, we shall come back to the starting point. This is Maharaj. Time cannot take us out of time, as the mind can't take us out of the problem. The mind created the problem, and we're asking the mind to take us out of the problem. Okay? As space cannot take us out of space. All you get by waiting is more waiting. Absolute perfection is here and now, not in some future, near or far. The secret is in action, here and now. It is your behavior that blinds you to yourself. That's why we do an inquiry. Disregard whatever you think yourself to be, and act as if you were absolutely perfect. Whatever your idea of perfection may be, all you need is courage. So the questioner comes back and says, where do I find such courage? Maharaj says, in yourself, of course, look within. And questioner, your grace will help. Meaning, you will help me? And he goes, my grace is telling you now. Look within. All you need, you have. Use it. Behave as best you know. Do what you think you should. Do not be afraid of mistakes. You can always correct them. All intentions matter. Only intentions matter. The shape things take is not within your power. The motives of your actions are. So, my intentions on Wednesday were I was going to shoot from the hip today. And I don't know what I was going to talk about. I had an idea, and then I had to let it flow. I had to become the river, become the water, and let it flow. And here we are. So, put the, if we want to donate, the donate link. Wow, you know, now that was intention. Okay, Roberta Flack, who grew up in the midst of giants of Aretha Franklin, Dionne Warwick, Gladys Knight, Tina Turner. I mean, Cher was out there. I can't remember them all. And this ballad singer, boy, did she hold her own. She just, the intention of Roberta was, and that's all it is our intention. God takes that next step. So, what else? What's next? Okay. Oh yeah. I think Sina put the link to donate, and the floor is now open.
Marisol?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Reverend Billy. That was really awesome. And there were so many great nuggets in there that I had to even write in my journal. Like, I don't know if this is exactly how you said it, but what you said, when you said, you are perfectly created now, your mind just needs to catch up. I thought that was perfect. And I so needed to hear that. So that was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marisol.
We have just enough time to play the last song, Billy.
Okay, if there's no one want to talk, then we will play this next song. I mean, this was an old-time favorite, and it was tough for me to get away from the original, but I did. So let's hear it. Well, yeah, it's 11:30. Bobby Hatfield did it with the Righteous Brothers, and this guy's voice is amazing. So, anyway, I think we're out. I think my clock says 11:28. It's 2 minutes slow. It was confusing me. I think I'm on time with it now, but it's time to go to the. Is it George doing it? I don't know. Okay, Zina, you take it.
You've been watching our online gathering. It happens weekly on Sundays at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. To join us live in the sanctuary, visit our website, awakening-together.org. You'll want to click on Online Sanctuary in the main menu, and then in the drop-down menu, look for How to Enter the Sanctuary. Right there at the top of the page is a clickable link. We'd love to see you in the sanctuary and join with you in fellowship. Thank you again for watching. Also, please know that if you'd like to stay connected via the Awakening Together channel here on YouTube, you can subscribe and hit the bell for more notifications. We hope to see you in the sanctuary.